Hey guys, this is Danny Boy, and this is Corridors on Nightmare. This is a 5-skull strategy. Apologies that there was a short delay between this video and the last, but to be honest, I've been kinda bummed lately, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But as far as corridors go, you have this one main corridor, you have two smaller corridors in the south, and all I do is put a bunch of arrow traps in this main corridor along with staggered tar traps and scorchers and just gradually fill the area. When flyers come in, I will always deal with them myself. I do not place archers or ballistae or shock zappers or whatever. I just use ice magic to deal with flyers. If you watch my previous stuff, that is generally what I do. The only exceptions being when there's just simply too much going on and too many flyers and just it's impossible to deal with everything at the same time solo. So, yep. Going to use ice magic to deal with the regular Hellbats and just the blunderbuss to deal with the babies, which works really well. The babies are one shot by the blunderbuss. So beyond that, on the south, I'm going to block off one corridor with barricades and turn the other corridor into a kill zone. And when I did this on War Mage, at the time, I didn't actually realize there were 3 corridors. I thought there was just one. That's why I didn't use this strategy on War Mage, because I am stupid. As I said in that video, oh, corridors is plural. No, really. So, this is the only kind of rough spot of the video and just of the strategy in general. It's just dealing with this first wave, basically. And yeah, just ice magic, boom, boom, boom. He's dead. Shouldn't have been as big of a deal as it was. The blunderbuss actually bugged out for a second there. That's part of the reason why that took so long. The blunderbuss can actually bug out, and it causes your grenades to be off-center and to be really hard to aim. And just the damage seems to just not function. It just doesn't function, basically. Really annoying. Has actually cost me a few levels at times at key moments. But you will be attacked by nulls almost every wave. Ice magic really helps there as well. Eventually you'll have so many traps you can just stand on them and the nulls will die, or they'll just die as they run to you from the main corridor. But all in all, Corridors is actually really easy to 5-skull on Nightmare. It's really not a difficult map by any means. There are far harder ones. So, to get a little off topic, the reason I've been bummed lately is because I realized a couple days ago, number one, I was kind of disappointed in the number of views I was getting for this series. I figured I just didn't put stuff out fast enough because I did take a couple of days to see my girlfriend in the city. Even if that was the case, I wouldn't have regretted that decision. Regardless, I discovered a couple days ago that, and I noticed this on day 1, but there's a ticker on the main menu page, and it's plugging 2 YouTube channels. I noticed that on day 1, but I didn't really think much of it. I just figured, you know what, I compete with tons of people all the time in basically any series I do, so I'll just do what I always do and hopefully it will work out. Well, I just realized that basically everybody's being funneled to one of those channels. Everyone else who's been trying to do Orcs Must Die 2 stuff, their stuff is basically buried under this guy's stuff. And kudos to him, he's doing well. But I don't know if this guy is just sponsored by Robot Entertainment or is actually a developer. But I do know that he has tons of stuff for Orcs Must Die 1 on his channel, and basically that's all his channel does. He has a custom background for it for Orcs Must Die 2, or just Orcs Must Die in general, so I don't know if he's just sponsored or what, but either way, there's basically no way I can conceivably compete with him as he's getting support from the actual developer, so not much you can do about that. Oh well, kind of a swing and a miss, didn't really think about it. In retrospect, if I ever see something like that again, I will just not do footage for the game and change my plans. Problem is, it had been so long since a game came out anyway, and I was looking forward to this game. I really wanted to put out content. In retrospect, maybe I should have just skipped War Mage and went straight for Nightmare, because War Mage is really easy to knock out anyway. But again, it had been so long since I put out just content for a new game, I really wanted to do stuff immediately. Ah, well, lesson learned, hindsight is always 20/20. But yeah, that's kind of the story of that. I will be finishing this series. I will be finishing Nightmare. I've actually just about 5-skulled the entire thing as the time of this video anyway. I just need to put out the actual videos. But I probably won't be doing as much on it as I thought I was going to do. I was going to do a co-op series. I was going to maybe do an Endless series, so that one would probably be really hard to commentate considering how long an Endless episode is if you do get to level 40 or 50, which would be the goal. At this point, I'm probably going to just say to hell with it, finish Nightmare, and then move on to Mass Effect 3 again for a soldier playthrough, and then maybe work on Bioshock some more, and then wait for Guild Wars 2. There are no promises for Guild Wars 2 because I don't know if it's going to be really good. I have not played it. I've been meaning to pre-purchase it, but it's $60 that I just don't have right now. I've had a lot of expenses lately. I did finally buy a new hard drive to correct my stupid lag issue, so hopefully that will work out well. I just got it and installed it a day ago, but we will see if that kind of has ameliorated itself. Yeah, watch out for runners, for sure. Some Scorchers or Brimstone traps can help with that. It would really suck to just have a runner randomly sneak through. The number one way I tended to lose points on this map, though it only took me like 2 tries to get 5 skulls, it was really easy, was just a baby somehow snuck through that I just missed, or runners got through that I just missed. But Brimstone traps will eliminate runners. I'm not even using them. You don't need to use Brimstone. I just made sure to be over there on the tar traps to blow them up, though it seemed like the arrow traps probably would have gotten rid of them anyway. And yeah, this corridor, I'm just filling it with haymakers. I'm going to fill it with arrow traps, stagger scorchers, and tar traps, and it's going to be an incredibly strong kill zone. All of the Earth Lords or Elemental Lords, whatever they're called, and trolls and whatever get completely destroyed by the haymakers and the scorchers and the tar traps, though I do run excuse me, down here to just help with the process. Again, if you really want to maximize your score, you want to essentially let traps kill everything. That really is the goal. Let traps kill everything, because you get a much higher score when traps kill everything. You want to get untouchable, have traps kill everything. Honestly, it seems like, in terms of score, you might actually be better off on a lot of maps not even going for 5 skulls and just saying, screw par, take all the time in the world that you need, and have your traps maximize your score. Because on a lot of maps, you need to make par, set your kill zone a lot closer to the spawn, rather than letting them come to you, just kind of set it closer to the spawn and really do a lot of damage yourself. Whereas, if you weren't trying to make par, you could set them up way further back and just let your traps deal with everything. And it doesn't seem like you get a I mean, you do get a bonus for getting a perfect victory, but I feel like the sacrifices you make to make par actually don't make up, or rather the perfect victory doesn't make up for those sacrifices. I don't know, I'd have to experiment with it some more. I really have never bothered to maximize my score. I've only ever cared about just getting 5 skulls and being done with it. I don't really have the attention span to put that much time into this game, unfortunately. So we're about halfway through. Postcom is definitely tougher for these longer episodes, because I can generally explain the strategy in about 5 minutes, and then it's just, I explained it, now watch me execute it, really. There's not a lot more to say, honestly. Pretty simple. This one isn't particularly difficult anyway. That's kind of why I was doing it live before. I stopped doing it live on Nightmare because it was taking a lot of experimentation to figure stuff out. But I'm starting to feel like I should have just figured it out and then done live commentary, because that way I don't have to think so much about what I'm saying, unfortunately. Oh yeah, I'm using the scavenger trinket. Also, yes, I just placed that slightly off, and that bothers me immensely. And because it's Nightmare, I would not have time to sell it, so that's going to just bother me for the entirety of this video. But using the blunderbuss, fully upgraded for grenade damage. I think I have the bleed, not totally sure. Ice magic, not upgraded at all. Don't really need to. It's generally fine out of the box for my purposes, which is generally just to deal with flyers or to slow down ogres or something. Mana Rage to give me more mana, and for just the benefit of the on-use effect, though I don't usually use it. I probably should have used it more just to give me a better time. Not that it really mattered or I really cared, but I generally just save it for emergencies anyway, so that's why I didn't have that, or I wasn't using that on cooldown. Scavenger Trinket, I basically never leave home without either the Scavenger Trinket or a Coin Forge, and I really don't use Coin Forges anymore. I prefer the Scavenger Trinket because I don't have to worry about just floor tile real estate, essentially. A lot of times I do make heavy use out of tar traps and floor traps, and it's just not congruent to also using Coin Forges. Using the Trap Reset Trinket, though, I basically just use it for its passive. Generally, I forget to use it or don't need to use it. And when I really do need to reset my traps, I've usually just already spammed a bunch of grenades or something, so it just doesn't usually come up as a strategic option. tar traps fully upgraded for cost, to reduce their cost, and I believe for the extra slow, arrow traps for damage, and fire arrows for damage. Scorchers, I think the upgrade is for damage, I don't exactly remember. I believe it's just damage and then increased burn duration. Haymakers for damage, and for the stun. The stun is amazing when you have just lines of haymakers for killing heavy targets, ogres, trolls, earth elementals, stuff like that. And then barricades, just minimizing their cost. And I don't think I bothered giving them a self-heal thing or reduced damage. I might have done the self-heal. Basically, I always take reduced damage on areas that have sappers, and I generally just spec into the self-heal for areas that I'm going to use barricades but don't have sappers, just in case you get hit by crossbowmen or something. But on this map, they're not going to get hit at all by basically anything. So it's really not needed, but it's just 5 skulls. And by this point in the game, you can see I'm using the whatever it's called, Orc Slayer skin or something that costs 50 skulls. I have so many skulls that it doesn't even really matter anymore. Oh, speaking of skins, if you are interested, there is a unique skin that you can redeem from Alienware if you have a arena account, something like that. It's totally free to make one, so if you're interested, I suggest you do it. I will put a link to the page in the description. I don't actually know what the skin looks like yet. I just got it today. It was just brought to my attention today, thanks to 84Jave. Apologies, my friend, if I'm mispronouncing your name, but he is the one that brought it to my attention. I definitely would not have known about it if it hadn't been for him. I really do appreciate, guys, when you bring stuff to my attention, because I'm not always on top of everything. I can't, like, know everything always. I try to be, but I'm just one man. Also, I wouldn't have even known about the Firefight DLC if a commenter hadn't pointed it out to me. Battle Hardened Gamer, thank you as well. Kudos to you. I forgot to give you a shout out when I did those videos, but much obliged. I definitely would have missed that on day one. I would have probably realized eventually, but I would have missed it on day one, which would have really sucked. I always like to get stuff out on day one of release, if at all possible. Barring, unfortunately, sometimes there's tech issues and problems and whatever, but best laid plans. So, yeah. Trying to think of what to say. This is so long. Well, I will say this. Guys, I really appreciate your support. It does really mean a lot. All of the positive feedback and comments I have gotten really helps keep me going. Things have been kind of sucky as of late. Nothing has come out. It's been really hard to just get views and just get content out, original content, new games and stuff, because just there hasn't been anything. The summer really sucks for this sort of work, so I appreciate those that have stuck with me. Hopefully in the coming months we will finally get a game that really helps just improve the channel. I've had a lot of problems with YouTube lately that have made things even harder, and I don't know if they're going to be resolved. Hopefully they will be. If they're not, it's going to be a serious, serious problem for the longevity of the channel, but we will see. But again, yeah, guys, really appreciate the support and really welcome any help. I am infinitely thankful that you guys bring stuff to my attention, and I do really take your feedback to heart. I do really consider it when I make decisions. And I think I've demonstrated that a number of times, actually, in the different things I've done. And sometimes it was a mistake to listen to somebody's feedback. Sometimes it was a really good idea. I am definitely still learning. I mean, I've only been doing this for like 6 months. This is all a complete learning experience for me. I've never done anything like this before in my life. So, thank you for bearing with me throughout everything, basically. But this kill zone is about complete, really. I'm going to eventually start pushing even farther into that hallway, as you can see right now. In fact, even more arrow traps. Probably not strictly necessary, honestly. Most things are dying long before they're even halfway through the hallway, especially with support from the blunderbuss and grenades and what have you. Is it just me, or would a actual, like, minigun gun thing be really, really fun? A actual minigun gun thing, that's right, I said it. I know the crossbow kind of fills that niche, but I feel like if you're just spamming the crossbow a lot of the time, not really living up to its potential, it's generally better to just spam it, but do it rather slowly so that you can get headshots. Not that you need to aim every single shot, but just kind of spam it in the direction of their heads and just gradually get headshots. I don't know. I would love like a cannon or something even crazier than the blunderbuss. So I do really like the blunderbuss. I feel like I need to change stuff up coming up in terms of my weapon choices, though. Maybe I should try out the Dwarven Hammer a bit more. Oh, and yeah, I am trying to use the Scavenger Trinket on cooldown as much as possible. I do sometimes forget, but that is the goal, to just maximize income. I would also have loved, like, the Auto Ballista, that sort of trap, only a sentry on the floor, rather than just occasionally shooting something. The slow fire rate of the Auto Ballista, just a really rapid fire rate weapon that maybe fires in bursts or something. I would have thought that would have been really fun. I really like steampunk style stuff, so emphasizing steampunk in this game. The more black powder stuff, the better as far as I'm concerned. How about some freaking mortars? My god, that would be so awesome. A mortar trap, that would be amazing. I don't know, maybe it's just me. More bombs, more explosions, more gunpowder. Speaking of gunpowder, another game, I've definitely talked about how I will be playing the living crap out of Borderlands 2, and I will be. I'll probably be making hundreds of videos. I made over 300 videos for Mass Effect 3, and I'm looking forward to Borderlands 2 more than I was looking forward to Mass Effect 3, so many, many, many videos. Torchlight 2 is another one that I'm really looking forward to and will be playing a lot of. Unfortunately, it was pushed back again, but I really want to play that game. I really want to play the Engineer. I really love what I've seen and what they've done with that game. Looking forward to the co-op. I have played co-op in this game, by the way. I've just about beaten War Mage with 2 of my friends, actually. I don't know if I'm going to actually... I did record it, but I don't know if I'm going to show it. I feel like if I do co-op, it'll be Nightmare. If I actually, record it and show it, it'll be Nightmare. I was going to show co-op just War Mage and then all 5 skull strategies. I 5 skulled everything with one of my friends, and it's not really hard to do. Yeah, personally, I think co-op is a lot easier than single player. Some people have told me that they think it's harder. Some people have told me they think it's easier. I mean, maybe co-op Nightmare is really, really bad because I haven't done co-op Nightmare yet, but co-op War Mage is a lot easier than regular War Mage. Just the fact that there's 2 of you makes such a huge difference. And between you have 12 traps rather than 10, which makes a huge difference. And just with one person being the Sorceress and one person being the War Mage, you can really just kind of min-max your traps and play to the War Mage's strengths and play to the Sorceress's strengths. And yeah, I thought it was a lot easier and a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed it. So did my friends. They really enjoyed the co-op of this game, and I do think it's really fun. I don't know, guys. I might show it, I might not. It's just I can't compete with the sponsored channels, so it just seems like it might be a waste of my time, and I don't have a lot of time, period, but I also don't have a lot of time until Guild Wars 2 comes out. I just have not even a month. Quite a bit less than a month, actually, at this point. But again, I don't know what's going to happen with that game. It's really a wild card. I did enjoy Guild Wars 1, but I definitely stopped playing it after just maybe a month, if that, to go back to World of Warcraft. That came out within maybe a year of World of Warcraft coming out. And at this point, I know very little about it. I know that it's definitely different, which really intrigues me. And it could be amazing. I just don't know. I've tried to stay away from it because I want it to be a surprise. I'm tired of knowing everything about games before playing them. And I feel like it's more fun if I do record it for you guys if I don't know everything that's going on. If I'm also learning. You seem to like Grimrock in that respect. I went totally blind into that game. And I got a lot of positive feedback for it. So, I don't know. We will see. Mists of Pandaria is coming out as well. Another game I don't know if I'm actually going to be recording. I want to play it. I don't know if I'm going to record it because there's no possible way I could really compete with World of Warcraft. It's been out for 7 years. I have no prior World of Warcraft stuff, and there are so many channels doing that game. It seems rather pointless. Final wave, finally. We are on the final wave. There's just going to be a bunch of gnolls that I will kill. Not a big deal. They're all going to die from traps mostly anyway. And this is one wave where enemies come out of both the north and the south at the same time. Though the south is basically just gnolls at the beginning, and then babies for the north, which this is one time where I kind of got a little overwhelmed, but it wasn't really a big deal. I arrived with enough time to deal with them. I wasn't really paying attention to my mini-map, or I would have left a little earlier, because those traps that I was placing were far from necessary. But yeah, I'll eventually use little grenades, a few grenades, right there. It's really easy to hit the babies with grenades when they're arcing downwards, so... And beyond that, I think only a mountain troll comes out of the north anyway. So yeah, there's stuff coming out of the north right now and the south, but it's just never a big deal. They're generous to the player. A lot of times I could have had a lot of stuff coming out of every direction at once. They generally stagger it so that you have a decent amount of time to get from point A to point B and to avoid getting overwhelmed. I should have probably placed those Scorchers facing the opposite direction, actually pointing backwards, and just had them run over them and then have it shoot them in the back, because they're kind of just skipping over them. I didn't really notice at the time, though I guess it is occasionally hitting something. But yeah, guys, this was Corridors. Corridors, Nightmare, 5 Skulls, not a big deal at all. Thanks, guys, for watching. Stay tuned for more. Please like the video if you liked it. Please sub if you want to see more. Grenades do a great job at killing big targets like mountain trolls, by the way, just spamming a full mana bar worth. Yeah, sub, comment, like, ask questions, feedback, all good stuff. Really, really appreciate it. Cannot stress that enough. If I had stuff to give to you guys, I would. If I had, like, items or something, I would gladly... I really would like to give something back to you guys. I really appreciate the support. I would like to give something back. I've tried to do so in, like, pointing out promotions like the Alienware stuff and just putting out DLC really quickly so that you guys can make an informed decision before buying it and wasting money. But if there's a game that actually gives me stuff that I can give away at some point, I will gladly do so. Diablo 3 would have been a good example of that, but I stopped playing it, so that really didn't work out. I'll try to figure something out in the coming months. Hopefully Borderlands 2 will be a good, excuse me, will be a good game to just give crap away, because I don't need it anyway. Come on. So, yep, Corridors, 5 Skulls. Easily made par, I believe. I had 4 skulled it before this. I think this was just my second attempt. Ton of bonus skulls. Clicky. Yeah, made it by over a minute. Could have been a little faster. Not a big deal. Could have done better. Definitely. About 300k. I'm sure you can get like a billion K on this map. Have a good one, guys. Yeah, that's right. A billion K. Blah, blah, blah.